Hi, my name's Beth Callahan. I'm the editor of the Warren County Post, and today I have with us Adam Mathews. He is our state rep, and he covers Lebanon and Mason. And Adam, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. It's so great to be back speaking with you today and being here at the Warren County Career Center. It's a gem of our county. I'm glad to be here.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I think you started off as an engineer.
I did. So I interned at Procter& and Gamble doing baby care, working on diapers, and
Those are important.
they are very important. And then after graduation, did a brief stint as a civilian for the Navy Nuclear Propulsion Program. Different type of technology, but they still clean up messes. And after that, I went back to law school, where I wanted to become an intellectual property attorney, doing patent, copyright, and trademark. Again, taking brand new ideas, being at the cutting edge of technology, and really solving problems and helping people achieve the American dream in a way that promotes progress and technology.
And were you living in Lebanon at the time, or did you move from someplace else?
Sure. So I grew up in the Mason area, went to St. Susanna for grade school, then went to high school, went out to Indiana for engineering for undergrad and law school. Came back to Warren County. My first job was split between Dayton and Cincinnati for a large law firm. And I got my head on a swivel, rented at a place in Springboro, fell in love with Lebanon. There's a wonderful church, St. Francis of Sales, that we were going to, and actually got roped into an early morning, late night prayer. They have 24/7 prayer in the church, and I was assigned from 2 to 3 in the morning. So that commute from Springboro to Lebanon got old really quickly, so we've found a place in Lebanon to move, and we've been there ever since, and I think that was 2014 until now.
So what made you get involved with politics? Because before you were the state rep, you were a councilman, correct?
Yes. So I want Ohio to be a place where my kids can grow up to be virtuous and be successful. And I had planned on just doing that as a good husband, good father. And I saw that how small regulations, even if well-intended, can hamper the American dream, hamper things for our businesses and families. I was representing a few members in Lebanon, some businesses, and they came to me with issues on zoning. There was a small thing where there could be no signage on the back of the buildings, even though it was mandated that you had parking in the rear. I looked at that. That was what the law actually said. And we went to council to say, hey, can you fix this? It didn't move as quickly as we wanted, so I ran for council and won. And then we fixed it. So now there's great, nice signs in the backs behind Village Ice Cream Parlor, Wits, and all of those, so that instead of guessing what door you're going to, you can actually park and walk in and frequent our businesses and support our community. So that was how I first put my name out on a yard sign for general elected office.
So then, how did you decide to go from council to state rep?
Sure. So on council, you normally are dealing with things like zoning or taxes. And Lebanon has been a beacon of conservatism and success here, and that's why we continue to grow and attract businesses. However, we saw with the government shutdowns of 2020 how much the state has an impact on us trying to live our lives here. Growing up in Mason and serving in Lebanon, I saw how much we needed to take what works in Warren County and promote and protect that in Columbus. There's a reason that Warren County's grown by 14% since the last census, and there's a reason that our voice needs to be heard up there. We have tourism and agriculture here, and the government shutdowns of 2020 needed to have someone that zealously represents our way of life, because things don't work if Kings Island is closed. Things don't work if you can't go to the Golden Lamb or Two Cities Pizza or frequent your parades. And so that's what gave me the drive to take our voice of what works in Warren County up to Columbus.
Now, this was your first year.
Yes.
This is pretty impressive to do a House bill, because I was looking at the first House bill that's ever introduced always starts with a 1.
Yes.
I go to look, House Bill 1. You are the one that proposed it. That's, impressive. How did you decide to do that? Did you even know what you were doing?
Sure. There's been a lot of on-the-job learning, and I'm honored to be running House Bill 1. House Bill 1 is the bill to get Ohio to a flat income tax, to join the dozens of states that are at zero or flat income taxes.
What does that actually mean?
So that means right now in Ohio, if you make more money, they tax you not just more raw dollars, but increase the amount and percentage of dollars that you get taxed on as you go up the income chain. And it's not just the super rich that are being taxed at this rate. The highest rate in Ohio is at 3.99%. That's above many of our neighbors of Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. And it starts at $114,000, which if you have dual income, there's many people graduating here from the Warren County Career Center that are going to be making that very quickly, right out the gate. And so we are trying to bump it down to 2.75 flat for everybody. Anyone that's currently paying income taxes above the poverty threshold that we're saying pays 2.75. It doesn't matter if you're making 50,000, 100,000, or whatever. It's 2.75 of your income tax. That makes it costs less to collect that type of money, and every time that we've cut the top rate, we've actually increased revenue because there's more economic activity, people more moving and staying in Ohio.
Now that's just for the state income tax, right?
Yes.
It's not, because we still have city income taxes.
We'd still have the city income taxes, and just most of those are flat as well, and then we can't work on the federal either. But hopefully we encourage them to move to a flat tax as well.
Yes, I hope
Yeah.
so too. Then so as a state rep,
Yes.
you make laws or you propose legislation. Is that basically what your job is?
Yes.
And
We propose legislation as well as help with constituent services. So we give proclamations for good things that happen here, whether you're winning state as a wrestler in high school, or ribbon cutting, bringing new businesses here. We've had businesses that had issues with state insurance, and so we help them as well. And we are really working to do those types of constituent services as necessary to help people cut through the bureaucracy that is created in Ohio. And as you said, the other part of what we do is propose legislation, move it through the House, move it through the Senate, and hopefully get it signed by the governor. And we're working through that.
okay, and then you've also done a couple other bills.
Yes.
Is there the one bill I love? I think it's House Bill 27.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that
Sure.
one?
House Bill 27, it's the Higher Education Return on Investment Act. And what it does is creates a simple one-page disclosure that when you go to any of our state institutions of learning, whether it's community colleges, tech centers, or our 14 great universities, you get a one-page form that says this is what your actual costs are, including all those hidden fees. This is the financial aid you have, as well as any tricks that they may have on, well, you have to work 20 hours of community service or live on campus. That's put in front of you. If you take your federal loans, how much your monthly loan payment's going to be, as well as with whatever information's available, what your expected 25-75 income range is going to be, so that you can make a good informed decision of how should I be spending the next 2-4 years, and will this benefit me and society? And I think we've had our first hearing on that. We have our next hearing on it next week. It's going very well, and we hope that we move that forward.
Now, are there any other bills that are kind of like hit you in the heart that you would like to see? I
Sure.
know there's one with something about babies. What was that?
Yeah, the baby boxes.
Yeah.
So Ohio is a safe haven state where any hospital, fire department, police station, if a mother is in a dire situation and wants to surrender a baby with no penalty, up to a certain age she can, and then that child will be put in child services. But there are some women that do not want to do that because they want it to be anonymous. And we have a good number of baby boxes or incubators in Ohio that have been funded, have been donated, and we're trying to make it so that the Department of Health rules are more in line with what's actually necessary rather than being too strict to make them be able to function. We see out every month out of Indiana a baby that's been relinquished and saved this way. Many times it's the firemen themselves that then adopt the children. And so we are working with that, and I'm working with Representative Gene Schmidt to continue that, to support those baby boxes.
And then is there another tax bill that you're proposing? Something
Yes.
What's that one?
So I have one. It's with Representative Santucci to get rid of the marriage penalty on 529s and ABLE accounts. So in Ohio, you can give every year $4,000 to either a 529 for education savings account or ABLE accounts, which are able to support those with developmental disabilities to have income without losing their access to Medicaid or other types of support. However, if you get married, you can also, and file jointly, you can also only give $4,000 to those same accounts. So we disincentivize people to file jointly. And so if you're married, file jointly, we're just changing it to say you can give $8,000, which makes it fair across the board and helps those that are saving for higher education in the future, as well as those that are taking care of those with developmental disabilities. And that one is in the heart. That I think we should help.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We're going to do something special since we're here at the Warren County Career Center. You've been so kind to say yes, you would sit down and do
Absolutely.
an interview, and we're going to have Blake Heil step in, and he's going to take my seat, and he's going to ask you some questions. And
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm glad to support the Warren County Career Center. Glad to be here with you and to help communicate all the good things we're doing in Columbus and make sure that everyone hears what we're doing in Warren County. We're trying to protect and promote it up there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.